Hello, everyone, and good afternoon or good evening from people in other regions. It's 8 o'clock in the evening in Saudi Arabia. I know it's the afternoon in the US. So me and Dr. Luisa from Prince Sultan University, Riyadh College of Business, did a study on corporate social responsibility orientation in Saudi approach and benefits. And so we briefly go through the introduction, why we chose this topic, and the importance of looking at CSR and its non-financial benefits. The research questions we specifically looked at the objectives of the study, what other literature was done in CSR and non-financial benefits. Finally, the design of our hypothesis, the methods used, results, conclusions, and recommendations. The role of government and companies in society, we know, have changed dramatically with more corporate social responsibility, assuming very significant places in developing and developed world. And we can see this more clearly now with COVID-19, how it has entertained government plans, government policies, business strategies, and of course, social responsibilities. We thought the Saudi context was particularly relevant because it's a country in transition, initiated by their new government plan on the Vision 2030 to diversify the economy, as well as demonstrate sustainability and social responsible actions. And of course, now first with COVID-19 challenges or opportunities. So we believe this study is significant for government policy makers in Saudi who are going through changes, and of course, academicians to help unfold the discourse of non-financial benefits of CSR across international contexts. So one of the few literature we found on non-economic benefits in a non-Western context. So Saudi Arabia, looking at their historical socio-cultural orientations on value-based approach using the stakeholder theory, business ethics, social capital, and strategic management approach. So our research problem, finally, we decided to look at two questions. Number one, what approach do the Saudi firms apply to demonstrate their CSR activities? We know there are several orientations or approach firms take in regard to their CSR activities, from ethical values, the environment, of course, many others talk about the economic benefits. So we're looking at, is there a relationship, finally, between the Saudi farm CSR approach and their non-financial benefits of employee turnover? Does it also help to foster innovation, whether technological or otherwise, and also whether it does help their brand reputation? We all know that in the Middle East, corporate social responsibility is a virtue ingrained in their social cultural values. However, few empirical studies examine their benefits other than from the economic and financial performance and competitive advantage. So this study wants to empirically examine those approaches and the non-economic benefits to demonstrate the CSR in these companies. Of course, in literature review, CSR is a concept, is a phenomenon which has been part of the academic and business vocabulary for decades. And in the literature review, we see several definitions which highlight the multifaceted characteristics of the phenomena to reveal its evolution over time. The gurus or the fathers of strategic management, like Porter and Kramer, defined CSR as companies' concerns and responsibilities in connection with their community relations or stakeholder relations. Others looked at it as philanthropic, multi-sector collaborations, and volunteer activities. In our study, we are going to operationalize CSR in connection with multi-stakeholder partnership, philanthropic undertakings, especially given that we know that many farms in the Middle East have the socio-cultural values approach, and also to look at the non-financial benefits. Of course, the potential benefits in terms of the economic performance has been widely studied, but it also, CSR reduced environmental impacts as seen by studies by Lee and others, developing the well-being of employees, positively enhancing reputation and competitive companies' position. Other benefits also, which were found that were from the non-economic performance, included brand reputation, product innovation, and employee retention and customer service. And this study is mostly going to look at the non-economic benefits. So the first hypothesis designed was CSR has a positive impact on employee retention, and two, does CSR positively foster innovation? And finally, CSR is positively associated with the brand reputation. The paper collected data on latent constructs through a survey of executive managers across a spectrum of industries in Saudi Arabia. The sample of the Saudi firms was selected from the Riyadh Chamber of Commerce, which had both the listed and non-listed companies, and these were from the manufacturing and service sectors, excluding the public administration and community service organizations. So the survey, based on a questionnaire, was designed to obtain evidence of approach and benefits of implementing CSR practices, and it had five sections, starting from the demographics to the other constructs. Of course, we had to choose the respondents from the executive managers of the firm, as they are the decision makers, the policy makers who have extensive knowledge and experience of the firm strategies, operations, and its success or benefits. So based on the data collected by the final survey, the reliability of the whole questionnaire and each point in its CSR objectives and benefits were verified respectively to show the internal coexistence. So we use both descriptive and inferential statistics to analyze the data from table 1, the descriptive statistics. The mean standard deviations and correlations are presented in table 2, and we can see that we had over 62% of the farms had around 500 or more employees. 73% of the respondents were from the manufacturing industries, and the rest of the farms were from the service industries. 63% of the respondents were male and 31% from the female respondents in the Saudi context. This is a big change in the farm's governance and gender equality, as we see with the implementation of the Vision 2030 in 2016, which advocated the empowerment and the inclusion of female in the workforce. And amazingly, 2016 to 2020, we are having female managers in many manufacturing companies. The average respondent age was 50 years old, and 90% of the farms were implementing an ISO standard in their farm's operation. Looking at the farm CSR approach, we found that 33 respondents replied that main CSR objective was the values and ethical approach to minimize the negative impacts and maximize the positive impact of the business from both the social, environmental, and economic factors. 28 respondents said their main objective or approach was to have a strong corporate governance by making sure that their organization was transparent, accountable, and ethical in their dealings. And we see this in other studies done. 20 respondents say their main objective was to manage the environmental impact in terms of energy, water, waste, and ecological health. And the other respondents' objective was related with community investment, philanthropy, and giving money to community causes, and to remain financially sound and profitable, ensuring the business continued to operate in difficult times accordingly. To test for the relationship, we used regression analysis, and we found that the findings verified hypothesis one, which appeared to foster innovation positively. Concurrently, the second hypothesis was also attested with employee retention, showing those values. Again, this shows that H2 was confirmed by the study, and the companies with CSR activities tend to encourage their companies to stay with their employees. And finally, H3 of reputation was equally supported, showing that it was positively related with CSR. In conclusion, the study demonstrates that even though after the new government plan of Vision 2013, which was initiated in 2016, which advocated on economic diversity, foreign direct investment in Saudi, pressure of globalization, competition, and to be responsible. These Saudi firms currently still approach CSR mostly from a stakeholder and an ethical, principle-driven approach, rather than solely from bottom-up profits. And this is in line with the historical, socio-cultural, and religious inclinations of Saudi Arabia. This is seen in similar studies identified in developing economies, which demonstrated that CSR is mainly a philanthropic activity embedded in cultural and religious values and predominantly adapted for their local societies. Additionally, the findings showed that non-economic benefits demonstrated by CSR activities are those related to satisfied employees, brand reputation, and technological innovation. The study implied that most of the CSR approach is the ethics and value-based orientation, using the stakeholder approach, good, strong corporate governance, satisfying stakeholder demands, philanthropy, and finally the economics approach as seen by other studies. Also seen from the analysis, the study supported all the three hypotheses, supporting and attesting other studies which theorized that CSR should strongly be a value-based oriented approach, providing indirect financial benefits to the stakeholders. The study echoes Glover 2007 call for companies to truly engage in CSR by pushing the values and holistic principles of CSR in their strategic plans to achieve the non-economic benefits which will give these companies a competitive advantage. So the farm CSR efforts and activities can thus be enhanced through a strong structured systems. Yes, Saudi, what we saw with the Saudi farms was that probably they used to have, as mentioned, that they used to have the CSR activities, but they were not structured into the strategic and the governance systems in their companies. But we see now with the Vision 2030 and the opening up of globalization and the pressures of competition, there is a need, we believe there's a need to have these strong structured systems and governance, which will ensure their competitive advantage through both the financial and non-financial performance and success. Thank you for listening, and would be happy for any comments and suggestions. Thank you.